Christine, great to have you on today's interview. Excited to hear about how we closed out the last few weeks on the bringing innovation into company workflow. But before we get into the theme, I thought maybe you could do a quick intro of yourself and then talk a little bit about what we're trying to do with this panel at large, and then we'll get into the theme. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, that sounds great. And thanks, Tom. Very excited to be part of this project. My background is I'm a career brand manager and innovator. And throughout my career, I've faced many challenges in this exact topic, which is all about innovation and building a learning culture. You know, as I think about this topic and why this topic became something that we felt was really important, is because companies are facing increasing challenges. They're struggling to innovate and manage and anticipate a very dynamic future environment. So, you know, a learning culture is critical to help them prepare as well as be best-in-class innovators. And I think it aligns so well with Convetit's mission, which is to help companies be better learners and innovators and build those capabilities for the future. So we assembled a board to shed some light on this topic and how Convetit can better help companies succeed. And on this slide, you can see these are the questions that we posed to our panelists. We wanted to explore potential blind spots that large companies are facing as they're trying to be better learners. We wanted to dive into what is it about Convetit that is unique and can help clients build a learning culture and practice, as well as how can Convetit continue to evolve and bring further value and differentiation to its clients. So we posed this question to a panel for over 4 weeks, and you can see here some of our panel members. It is a very diverse group of innovation and learning experts, a range of industry experiences, folks across the globe. And to give you a little bit of insight about the Convetit panelists, they are very passionate about the topics that they are asked to join. They're inherently learners themselves, and they're very engaged and committed to this process and providing quality feedback because they get a lot of value out of it as well. So we had a great panel.
You broke it into a variety of target objectives, right? And I think identifying those blind spots was one of the key ones. When you came up with the idea of blind spots, it's just the idea of what are people not paying attention to that they should be?
Yes, absolutely. So, you know, so much of the organization is really working day in and day out to execute the business and run the business. And you can see a quote here from one of our panelists, Chris Woods. He says it quite well. With so many heads down working through the execution of initiatives and strategy, that sometimes they miss the larger picture. What we also see is that innovation is being stifled in many cases. There are good ideas and learning that are happening throughout the organization, but for a variety of reasons, these great ideas and learning are not being disseminated throughout the organization, and most importantly, not getting back to leadership. And in some cases, there are environments where folks are actually resistant and pushing back on these ideas. So culture, political environment, things of that nature play an extremely important role to building this capability and being prepared to tackle the future. One of the things that the panelists spoke about was how great ideas and innovation often fail due to poor implementation. And in many cases, it's due to a lack of expertise. Being prepared with the right experiences, the right mindsets on your team is critically important.
Do you feel, and I know this might be a little bit off topic of where you guys went, but do you feel like there's a tipping point? And if so, sort of what is that trigger that people start realizing that learning to continue to invest in your people and to encouraging them to move to that next thing is really the only way? You can't hire and fire fast enough, can you?
Many large companies learn the hard way. They invest a tremendous amount of energy and efforts and dollars into, you know, what should be a great idea, and for a variety of reasons, they're not able to monetize it out in the marketplace, and the innovation fails.
Yeah.
The weaker companies will look at that and say, well, we tried it and it didn't work.
Right.
The best companies with really savvy leaders are going to look at that and say, why didn't that work? And I think it's having that kind of leadership mindset, someone that's going to ask those questions and praise their organization for being honest and open. You can see a quote here from Dawn that I think speaks to this area. What often appears to be a blind spot on the surface is often quite known throughout the team.
What do you feel like we learned from this, and what is the role of a learning platform like Convetit to help solve this problem?
Well, what was very clear from all the panelists is that Convetit is unique, and I like how Andre says that on this slide. Is what makes Convetit unique is best sharing of experiences from numerous experts from various industries, backgrounds, and cultures. That is a key point of difference. But it's about being able to really tap into that to get that new learning and new perspective. Along with that, Convetit brings some proprietary technology, which with the combination of expert facilitators is able to really glean those insights, encourage a robust dialogue so that these panels can explore trends and where the future is going, share best practices and watchouts, and be able to tap into that perspective from a variety of industries and experiences.
What stood out to you about this when they started talking about benefits?
By far, people felt that the access to expert knowledge is an absolute key benefit. But you can see as well, ideation, the tools and technology, the ability to help with implementation, to bring case studies and work session are also key benefits.
There's so many places to go get expert advice. I was sort of surprised to see that this is still such a need, or at least a recognized benefit.
It's not just about Convetit providing access to the broad range of experts, but these people, because they are a bit removed, these experts are totally unencumbered by internal organizations' thinking and biases. And I think that is what really brings the biggest value. You're getting this diverse expert experiences, and they're talking straight.
Yeah.
And I think that's what companies want and need to hear. A lot of the panelists believe that they can add even more value if they were provided an opportunity. So although many clients choose to remain anonymous, the panelists felt if you gave me more specifics, then we can be even more helpful in considering your specific situation and competitive market and challenges. So certainly there is value with remaining anonymous, but I think in some panels there could be value with evolving the dialogue to a point where you do divulge a little bit more.
So here we're looking at Andre Stoltz. Key opportunities is for Convetit to expand to implementation services. Oftentimes, and I kind of see this as a spectrum, right, where we're either asked to go, can we use Convetit to go further, to get more advanced thinking, more earlier stage learning, and that's the direction we've been sort of migrating to, in particular with the discovery boards like we're running here. That's really what the design of that product is for, is sort of over the horizon thinking. But his point, and a lot of the sediments over the past few weeks, I was surprised to see so many people sort of saying, actually, if you move back towards the execution, there's use case as well. Did that surprise you at all, or do you see that use case clearly?
No, actually, I was not surprised at all. There are many, many professionals in the boards and across the world who are working as independents. Convetit is a combination of folks like that, as well as people that are employed by companies. And so many of these panelists are so closely connected to these topics. They're working with their own clients day in and day out. These topics get posed, or these challenges get posed on these boards, and they're kind of sitting there saying, gosh, I know exactly what they need. That's a situation that I am in as well. And I think it's only natural, and given your broad network, I think this is something where facilitating the introduction and kind of helping that client consider various approaches for implementation could add a lot of value.
Well, Christine, thank you so much for bringing all this to light. You were our guest facilitator on that panel for a couple of weeks. Actually, I think it went 4. And it was great. It was really great to have a unique perspective. You were able to go somewhere where we couldn't. So if I continued to facilitate it, it would have really looked biased. And it was your idea to do it on the value of Convetit, and I really appreciate it because we needed to hear some of these learnings. I thought you did a terrific job, Christine. I really appreciate your time.
Well, great. Thanks, Tom. It was really a great experience for me as well, and wish you all the best moving forward.